On this episode, I guess President Trump should get his Nobel Peace Prize speech ready. With the Trump-Kim summit, we have gotten a written agreement to denuclearize from North Korea. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And from, I guess, a little bit from last week, talk about Miss America. Also, Chick-fil-A is triggering liberals once again, thanks to Twitter's CEO, of all people. All that and more on this 101 episode of Trend Chat.
From the highways of America, here's the podcast where we talk politics, a little entertainment, some culture, and this and that, from the road to your ears. This is Trend Chat with your host, Brian Bledsoe.
And welcome, 101 episode of Trend Chat. I'm your host, Brian Bledsoe. And as always, if you want to connect with us, whether on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, it's all the same name, Trend Chat 24/7. Woo! I must say, I can't say enough how much I appreciate everyone from, the 100th episode. And I guess I don't want to keep saying the same thing, but I really do appreciate everyone that, listened, especially to the 100th episode and have listened so far. If this is your first time listening, hey, thanks for listening. Hope you continue to come back. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. We are on iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, and a number of places where you can get your podcasts. I noticed I saw Trend Chat on some other places that I didn't know that we were on. So I guess anywhere you get podcasts, I guess if you put in Trend Chat, you should get it. Can't make any guarantee about it. I just know for sure it's iTunes, Google Play, and iHeart. And we're on, Spreaker's platform. So, like I said, this old Trump-Kim summit with President Trump and North Korea's dictator, Kim Jong-Un. I had to say that slowly because I was probably going to say something else. Kim Jong-il or whatever. But anyway, that has happened in Singapore. And as I mentioned in the beginning, it produced a written statement or a written agreement from North Korea to denuclearize. So, hey, give it up. At least you got, look, we have gone through how many years? I don't know how many years. It's been a lot. And president after president after president haven't even gotten this far. So just to even get to this point is something to be commended. And I'm just thinking about if this was Obama, and I don't like to keep doing this, trying to compare, if Obama would have done this, the media would have portrayed it this way. But you can't ignore how this would have been received if this was President Obama. I can just imagine if President Obama had the same thing would have happened. They would have been in Singapore and had this summit. Well, one, I can imagine a lot of bowing from President Obama. Obama would be bowing or whatever. I'm pretty sure there'll probably be a lot of apologies in there, on the behalf of the American people. This would be Obama saying, on the behalf of the American people, we're sorry that you are a dictator. We're sorry that you have done such atrocities to your own citizens. We're sorry that we have played any part in making you evil, or something like that. It'd be a lot of apologies and bowing from Obama. That would be how I picture it. But even through all that, I can just imagine if this was Obama, I can imagine the media would have had, this would be like on the, no, what did it call? Story A. This would be the top story. This would be on the front page of every newspaper. It'll be everywhere, talking about how historic of a moment this is and how great of a president Obama is. He is the greatest president of all time for just meeting with the North Korean dictator. And if he would have gotten some sort of written agreement to denuclearize, oh man, the media would have changed the whole Nobel Peace Prize. I know I mentioned that in the beginning. They would have just changed the Nobel Peace Prize. All of a sudden, it would just be the Obama Peace Prize. It'll be a Lifetime Achievement Award for Obama the next year. He will get a lifetime Nobel Peace Prize at the least, if not just change the whole thing and just call it, like I said, the Obama Peace Prize, if this was Obama. But it's not Obama. It was President Trump. And so, given that it was President Trump that has gotten to this point, expect the media to find every negative aspect they can conjure up to say that, well, this is not going to work. Now, one of the things we can all agree on is that, okay, yes, it's a written agreement. Okay. Can't really trust North Korea. So as great as it is to see this all could change tomorrow because it's North Korea. Not so much about President Trump. It's just, North Korea is not to be trusted, really. But none of those things would have been mentioned if it was Obama. So, but all this will be mentioned on top of making nothing positive as well from the media. They'll try to focus on everything as far as, well, he shouldn't have said this, shouldn't have said that, or he shouldn't have did it this way or whatever. I mean, yeah, they're going to try to pick this apart as much as possible. But they can do that all they want. There has been a first step. There has been a step towards something good. That's, at the very least, that's what we all could say. I'm guessing we could say that at least, but the Democrats and the media friends, there are many friends in the media, they don't want to make that, they don't want to, admit that. So, well, now it's funny when I said the Trump Kim summit, it's funny because I also kind of go back to, last week, what was it, 2 weeks ago? Well, President Trump met Kim Kardashian. So I was like, oh, well, yeah, you forgot about that summit too, I guess, in a way where those two met. And this kind of goes back to a number of things where I was going to mention in the last episode, that being the 100th episode. I hope you checked it out. But it's funny because if liberal, I'm hesitant to even say this, not because I feel like this is going to reverberate throughout the airwaves and everyone's going to hear it, and I'm just going to bring this to light, and all of a sudden everybody's mind is going to change, or everybody's going to have this light bulb moment because of me. I'm not going to make that assumption like I'm that important. But I still don't want to say it. I'm hesitant to say it now, but still, I'm just going to say it. Liberals it would do them well if they would just take a little break from calling President Trump or anybody in the Trump administration a Nazi, a racist, a sexist, a homophobe, a phobeist, or whatever pejorative you could think of that you want to call anyone in the Trump administration as well as President Trump. If they would just take a second and take a break from that and just really think about it. Just look at what happened with Kim Kardashian. You had her, she went and met with President Trump, and next thing you know, Alice Johnson had her sentence commuted. Okay. That's a lesson that, a lot of liberals can actually learn from this, but I hope they don't listen to me. I hope they don't hear this. But because honestly, I think they probably can get a lot more accomplished than they think. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what it would be, but whether good or bad, and I can think of if any of these liberals are coming to talk to President Trump about something, I'm pretty sure it's going to be bad for the most part, or at least not great. But I feel like they could probably get more. They can get something done if they would just take the time out and take a break from their daily Trump derangement syndrome and screaming profanities at award shows like Robert De Niro and just basically looking like he's losing your mind. And because there's an article I've read from the New York Post that kind of talks about this, and if you pitch it right, to put it this way, if you pitch whatever you want to propose to President Trump, if you pitch it right, there is a good chance he would listen and actually would act on it. And I said once again, whether good or bad, from a conservative point of view, put it that way. But I think it all kind of goes down to how you come to him, basically. And I don't want to say too much about it because I actually don't want them to do that. Because I can imagine some of these liberals actually do wise up and want to meet with President Trump, and next thing you know, who knows, he might all of a sudden change his mind or be all in on what Obamacare, would just say, like, what, because so and so liberal celebrity came in, I think I think what he or she said about socialism, I think he made some good points. I think we ought to start having free health care and free college and all that. And this, it could happen. I don't put it past President Trump for that to happen. And like I said, that would be a bad thing for the country. But I think you could probably get some of these people, around him, and next thing you know, maybe he might change his mind on some of these things. Who knows? If you get enough people around him, might change his mind on immigration. And you know what? I need to shut up because like I said, I don't want none of this to happen. Actually, I don't want them to, get smart on this. I want them to continue to just keep screaming your heads off and just stay away as much as possible. Don't even bother. Matter of fact, these past 5 minutes, you know what? I'm on Ambien right now. Yeah, that's what it is. I'm just talking out of my head. Yeah, Don't listen to me. I just had a mental lapse, and I'm not feeling too well. And if any liberals that listen to this, just disregard those past 5 minutes. So, but before I get to, I guess, the next couple of topics before we talk to Driena Sixto, we're going to hear from our friends with the Founding Project.
Hello, Trend Chat listeners. If you like the Founding Project's Civics Education video series, Civics for All Ages, and our educational meme series, we think you will love our new website. Join us at thefoundingproject.com and be a part of the civics movement. The Founding Project is a 501c3 education nonprofit. Please join us today.
Hey, what's up? This is Kaya Jones, and you're listening to me here at Trend Chat.
Yep, so Chick-fil-A, right? the delicious chicken sandwiches, the sweet lemonade, the waffle fries. Yeah, I'm getting hungry. So yeah, Chick-fil-A has went out and triggered off some liberals once again. Just for the simple fact because someone decided to have themselves one of those delicious chicken sandwiches. So, Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey posted a tweet, just basically saying something about it's a boost or basically it's some sort of support for Chick-fil-A. Let's put it that way. I didn't look much into the tweet, but because the backlash was the thing I saw the most. But he showed some sort of support or something positive about Chick-fil-A, and I mean Twitter, the Twitter lost its mind. It basically shut down in a way and just rained all the vile hostility they could muster against Jack Dorsey, against the CEO of Twitter, just because of that. To the point the way he had to apologize for just saying anything nice about Chick-fil-A because of their stance on gay marriage. And that is in the secular, humanistic world, that is I can't say that's the most, the unpardonable sin for them. To think about it, I'm pretty sure everything is an unpardonable sin. Everything is a triggering to them. So, yeah. But yeah, so he had to back down. Everybody got on his case about how dare you talk, say anything nice about Chick-fil-A. Don't you know that's a bunch of, was it hate chicken or whatever? Because they just have the belief that marriage is between one man and woman. Whoo, oh man, that's so horrible. But it's convenient, right, to be a liberal in the sense, especially in the sense of business, where you can basically go anywhere you want as a liberal. You can, progressive, whatever. You can go wherever you want for the most part. Because progressive and liberals has browbeaten all businesses for the most part into accepting their ideology one way or another. And if they haven't, they're going to protest and boycott to the point that where all these businesses are very weak-kneed when it comes to these these, whether it's these boycotts or whatever, whether it's have all these protests or whatever going on. And so most businesses have bent to their will. So it's very convenient for a liberal to just pick and choose wherever they want to go. Unfortunately for the Christian conservative, that's not really the case. It kind of just goes back in the sense of, especially being a Christian, is being a part of the world, not being of the world. But in the sense of, you do have to be in the world in the sense of whether it's buying stuff or anything else. It just think about it. It's not about taking whatever commerce that you partake in and making it seem like you agree with everything that company does. Because if we would, as Christians especially, and as conservatives, if we went down the route that we would not do business with any company because they have done something that is offensive to whether Christians, in general, or conservatives, if we went down that road, you couldn't do anything. I think I've mentioned this before, because there's all these companies are a part of something that is probably going against biblical values in some way, shape, or form. Especially, I'm thinking about like the group Second Vote. They have this great app where they get all the whether all the things where that these companies advocate for, and what they send money to different causes and whatnot. And so you can go on the app and look up a business and see what they have what have they fundraised for, or what have they done to maybe give to Planned Parenthood, or given to other causes that I wouldn't call Planned Parenthood a cause. I would just call it basically murder mill in a sense. But the thing about that app, I just wanted to mention that. And so if you never heard of Second Vote, check that out, because if you just want to know about all these companies and just want to know where they stand on issues, that's a great app to use. So Second Vote. So that just came out of nowhere. I wasn't planning on doing a spot on that. But anyway, we're going to get to our interview with Driena Sixto. Talked about the Miss America and also an event with Turning Point. So here we go. Hello, this is Trent Chat, and the Miss America organization has been in the news recently, and Gretchen Carlson, the chair of the board of trustees, announced that they're doing away with the swimsuit competition as well as the evening gown. And it's been met with, I guess you could say, mixed reviews, because you have some conservatives as well as some liberals who are actually are happy about the decision, which is kind of a rare bipartisan agreement, I guess. But not everyone is. I definitely wanted to bring on people who have different view of it, and especially people who actually participated in those events. So we have Driena Sixto with us, who has participated in the Miss America pageant on some level, and also she is the Gulf Regional Director for Turning Point USA. So, and we'll talk about an upcoming event with them. So, Driena, how you doing?
Good. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast.
So, I guess first thing I want to ask about is with what's going on with the Miss America pageant. I guess, first tell us, all that you was involved in, and what you think about what's been going on.
Yeah, sure. So my first involvement with the Miss America organization was at the local level in 2013. It was something I did on a whim because my mom urged me to, go do a pageant, get some money. I'm like, sure. So I competed in my local pageant for Miss Hialeah, and it was the first time I ever did a pageant before. The Miss America pageant is different from other pageants in that it's not just about beauty. There's also a large portion of your score that goes towards a talent competition. So, sing, dance, do something, play an instrument. And then there's another large portion of your score based on a 10-minute interview with judges. And so I thought, sure, I got this. I practiced the song. I'm not a singer, but I sang well enough, apparently, to win my first pageant. And it was fun because it was something I hadn't done before. I got into good shape. I started eating healthy. And it was just a proud moment for myself to represent my city. And after that, I went to state, because if you're a local title holder, then you go on to compete at the state level. And obviously, I don't have the experience or anything like that to be a real contestant there. But it was fun, and I still came out with scholarship money because they award things for like Miss Congeniality, which is the Spirit of Miss Florida award, which I won, and an award for health and fitness dedication, which is based mostly on my platform, which I wanted to help out my local community and teach kids, to eat better. So it was just a fun year. Obviously didn't place at Miss Florida, but it was fun. We still had the swimsuit competition, and I don't think I ever felt more confident stepping out into a swimsuit in my life. So it was an experience that I recommended to other girls afterwards, and it was it presented a lot of great networking opportunities to myself, and it also taught me for myself how to eat better, how to diet better, how to take care of myself better, because I spoke to so many other girls who have done this for a long time. So, and the last time I got involved with the Miss America organization was just about a year ago. I was considering doing it again, running for Miss Miami. So I live in Miami. And I thought, this might help me with my real platform, like what I am passionate about and do on a day-to-day basis, which is advocate for conservative politics and educate other people on why free markets, unlimited government is such a great thing. And obviously I have many years of experience with this platform under my belt. And so I thought that would be appreciated at the Miss Miami pageant, and I don't think it was, given the fact that my judges all leaned very, very liberal, which I think affected myself, my score, and also, the score of other girls. So I felt already in that pageant that things had changed, that it wasn't really about, what the girl's doing or what they're passionate about, that it was more of a, you have to fit a certain agenda. You have to not really show your political beliefs if they're conservative, or else you're going to be punished for it. And so whatever, it was still a fun pageant. I knew as the second I read the judges' biographies, after working in the Clinton Foundation, that I wouldn't come off too well.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll just go out there and have some fun and, sing my song and whatnot. And that was the last time I ever participated in the Miss America organization. And, it doesn't surprise me that this year political correctness has completely destroyed the organization, to the point where women cannot be celebrated because there's other people who didn't work as hard enough as they did on their outward appearance, and they don't want to be, I don't know, I think it's just envy. People who don't work as hard just don't want other people being praised for their work. That's kind of just the typical leftist mentality, if we can't all be winners, then we're all going to be losers. And it's unfortunate, I think, what has happened to this pageant. And I think lots of girls are not going to compete, or girls that have always wanted to compete without putting in the hard work that it takes to actually be in a pageant, because it is hard work, are going to be the ones, stepping in. And I don't think people are going to watch that show, and I don't think the organization is going to be very successful. So after they crash and plummet, I think that they are going to bring back the swimsuit competition and the evening gown competition, because a pageant can be about more than just beauty. But come on, pageants. So.
Well, they're saying that.
So that's my opinion on that.
Well, they're actually saying that it's no longer going to be called a pageant. It's like said it's going to be called a competition. So they're even going further away from it.
According to them, like, okay, so just call it a spelling bee then. Like, what are you going to base it on? Who has the higher, degree? Oh, the PhD wins over the associates, and that's it. And we're going to televise this on TV. Like, give me a break,
Well, they're still going to be judged. It's just going to be secretly within the, the minds of the judges themselves. I mean, they're just not going to actually write it down and make it public. They're still going to be judging them from what they see.
I heard that they're going to do the 10-minute interview live, which I think is too, because that way people know what kinds of questions are being asked to the contestants to see if it's actually like fair or not.
On both sides that are agreeing with the decision or bringing up the fact that having the swimsuit event is justification of women and whatnot, and so that's their reason why they applaud what is going on. What do you say to people that are making that argument?
Those are people that would not win an actual pageant. So that's a bold statement, I know, but those are people that wouldn't place in a real beauty competition. Those are people that, that's not the right stage for them. And I'm sure women are valuable in many other ways than just beauty. intellect, I think, is way more important. Personality is way more important. But if me, for example, I wouldn't go out and compete in a beauty pageant right now because I'm not physically prepared for it, I haven't put in the work. I'd be a laughing stock. I think that doesn't diminish my value as a person. I have other things that, that make me worth something, and that's my intellect, my job, my career. The relationships I had, the success I've had in my job, that's what I'm proud of. But I'm not going to go and compete in a beauty pageant because I haven't dedicated myself to that. And so if I say, I want to compete and I should be judged the same as a girl that has a 10 out of 10 body because she put in 3 hours of work at the gym every day, I think it's BS, It wouldn't be fair, and I think it's just envy. It would be envy on my part to tell that girl to cover herself up so I can have a better chance at getting a higher score. So that's my opinion on it. And those girls or people who say, I'm happy that, we're going to have to cover up and it's going to be based on our brains right now, it's because you didn't have, that much of a health and fitness score to compete with in the first place that would have had you win. So again, envy is a terrible thing, and political correctness is a terrible thing, and it's ruining great things in our society. And hopefully, they'll learn, the Miss America organization will learn after a couple of years of this transition into a scholarship competition as to how many people are, interested in watching that. I don't think many people watch the spelling bee for the same reasons. It's not as entertaining.
I was also just thinking, I don't know. I know, like for me personally, it doesn't. Well, for one, I don't watch it anyway. So, but I mean, I always knew that they had this swimsuit part of the program. If I remember probably growing up and it would be on TV. So, but I mean,
it's a great cultural thing, and I've watched pageants since I was a little girl. I grew up in a Hispanic family, and I think Hispanic culture really appreciates the female physique a lot. So when I was little girl, I would watch these pageants and I was like, wow, when I grow up, I want to be like that. And I would, have fun picking out my top 10 and my top 5 contestants, and was happy when I actually picked out the right one. So it's just, it's good entertainment. I think it's healthy. I think, the girls that compete there are actually in shape. They're not, they're not like anorexic or anything. They're thin, but they're also toned. And so it's something that girls should be inspired by. So it's, it's more than just a competition. People grew up with pageants. Little girls grew up watching pageants, just like they grew up playing with Barbies.
I'm thinking as far as I remember maybe just a couple of years ago, I'm thinking the same thing's going to happen to Miss America. The same thing kind of happened to Playboy a couple of years ago, because I remember the news, they were saying, well, we're not going to show naked women anymore. We're just going to basically, show as much as possible without have them being fully nude. And they only lasted for like a year. And then next thing you know, they went right back to it. And I feel like, I bet you Miss America probably going to have the same outcome that they're going to.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The trial and error thing, they're going to learn. So
it's going to be kind of funny, because I'm suspecting that's going to happen. Mainly because there's a confusion of when it comes to especially the people in this Me Too movement going on right now. I feel like they don't know what they really want to do. Do they want to be so-called sexually liberated and do whatever, and then they want to turn around and act like they're all modest and back and forth? I mean, it's really confusing. So
it's really funny you mentioned that, because I've been, when the announcement came out on CNN and other mainstream media websites, I would scroll through the comments on those articles, and the most popular comments by liberals were the ones that said, well, I think they should just do away with the whole competition. Why are women even being compared to each other? And I just thought, wow, their liberal ideology transcends to just about everything, to economic policy and things like Miss America, and the fact that liberals don't want competition. They want everybody to be equal. They don't want to reward excellence, and and the way that they pretty much put people at an equal level is with fake outrage. I'm thinking of the women. No, you're not. You're just thinking about yourself and the fact that you couldn't actually compete in a competition. So the women that do compete don't feel themselves ashamed and don't feel, denigrated or anything like that. They actually are proud of being up on that stage, and it's the liberals that always have fake outrage on behalf of other people. And of course, they'd be calling for the doing away of all competition. They're the ones who started with the whole participation trophies for everyone kind of thing. And it's just another sign of just our decaying culture in society. So who knows?
Hello, this is Brian Bledsoe, host of Trend Chat, also contributor at politichicks.com. Here to tell you about the new book called Politichicks, A Clarion Call to Political Activism, with over 300 pages from contributors like myself, talking about topics such as education, social issues, healthcare, the Second Amendment, and of course, activism. I encourage you all to check it out at politichicks.com, and is also available at Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
Well, speaking of young women, and I'm guessing this event doesn't have a pageant to it, but Turning Point has their Young Women's Leadership Summit coming up this week, and so I wanted to have you tell us all about it and who's going to be there.
Yeah, no problem. So Young Women's Leadership Summit is actually I think it's my favorite conference out of all the conferences that we do every year that Turning Point USA hosts. And it's because we get to meet besides the great speakers, and we have a great lineup this year. We have Candace Owens, Ben Shapiro, Dr. Jordan Peterson, Charlie Kirk, Judge Janine Pirro. We have women role models that, are going to speak, and other girls are going to listen to and be inspired by and hopefully follow in their footsteps. It's also great networking, and it just kind of becomes a sisterhood. I've noticed the first year I went as a participant, not as staff. And so I got to hang out with my roommates and just create close bonds and realize that we have so much in common, even though we're many, many, many thousands of miles apart. And so it was just really fun. You get to meet girls who are not even pursuing a career in politics per se, but that they just feel kind of, that they don't feel right in their place back at home, or that they need some motivation to speak up about their personal beliefs, about the fact that they're conservative, and they get to meet so many women that think the same as they do, and it just kind of emboldens them to say, yeah, I'm a conservative because I believe in equality of opportunity. Yeah. I believe in free markets. I believe in limited government. I believe, in individual liberty, and it really shouldn't be that bold or that controversial of a statement, but the way things are for young people nowadays, especially in college and in high school, having that belief can get you ostracized. And so this kind of conference is great for relationship building between ladies. And they get to talk to each other about their experiences back at home, and know that they're not alone. You form a bond, you form a network of people that are there for you. And when you go back home, you feel more, emboldened to go about your way and speak out on what you believe and have the right preparation, knowledge, talking points, debate abilities to really pass on your ideas to other people who might be on the edge of, am I conservative? Am I a liberal? I don't know anything about politics. Which way should I go? And we make many more activists throughout the country. And I think that's the point of Turning Point USA, right? We need a turning point in this country. And that's the way we achieve that. So it's going to be really fun. And I know it's only a couple days before, but you can still apply if you're in the Texas area. If you're in Dallas, there's no reason if you're a young conservative lady that you shouldn't go. Turning Point USA is extremely generous and makes it very easy and affordable to go to their conferences. So for the Young Women's Leadership Summit, there's only a $25 registration fee, and that covers the event itself. You get to hear from all the speakers, and we take care of lodging, so you don't have to pay for a hotel. And if you need help with a travel stipend, because plane tickets are expensive, we offer need-based travel stipends as well. So, Turning Point is not trying to make money out of this. We're just trying to get girls there and trained and, and emboldened and empowered.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see more ladies in Dallas.
Yeah, I know we were there last year. That's where we had you on for the first time. I remember talking to a number of women there, and even afterwards, and they mentioned about being at the summit last year and were motivated to do video blogs or to do other things and to really really get their voice out there, and they were inspired by the speakers and the sessions that were going on at the event. So I can say firsthand that I've heard good things that came out of this summit.
And then they do it, and not just they don't only keep on with their activism, but they have a whole network of people cheering them on, and we get to see their progress, and it's awesome.
So, well, you already kind of mentioned as far as if people wanted to know more about going to the summit, going to the Young Women's Leadership Summit and everything. Now, how can people get in contact? I guess give it the whole deal as far as website, social media, and everything, and as far as for you as well.
So the way to do it is to apply at www.tpusa.com/YWLS, turningpointusa.com/Young Women's Leadership Summit. And there you can find the application. Fill it out real quick. In that same application, there is a link for a travel stipend as well if you need one. So at www.tpusa.com/YWLS, you can find both applications for the actual event and for the travel stipend. And I would urge those people to fill it out as soon as possible, just to make sure that, application gets processed and we can see you in Dallas.
And also is social media for Turning Point and yourself?
Oh, so for Turning Point USA, we have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'm pretty sure you can find all of those pages just by typing in Turning Point USA. And for myself, well, my Instagram is Driena Sixto, and all of my other social medias as well, Facebook and Twitter, Driena Sixto. You can find me, add me, stay up and, stay in touch with me and see all the different activism events that we're doing in the Gulf region in Florida, Alabama, Mississippi. I'm extremely proud of the work that activists do. It's really up to them. I do on-the-ground work myself, but I can't be in all places at all times, and so it's just a lot of different students putting in their heart and soul into, spreading this conservative message on their campus, and I just love to see that, and I love giving them shout-outs. We have in Florida some of the largest high school chapters in the entire country, 100-plus students that are excited and are also, by the way, going to the high school leadership summit, but I guess that's a conversation for another time after the Young Women's Leadership Summit.
Yeah.
Go out there, follow me, and we'll keep in touch.
Yeah, they do a lot of events throughout the year from, like you mentioned, the high school. I mean, you have Latino, and then I think you're now going to have like a young black leadership summit. I mean, they're going to be, there's plenty of events going on all year. I'm pretty sure we can bring you on to talk about those as well. So I know you already mentioned as far as some of the people going to be there. So you mentioned like Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, obviously Charlie Kirk is going to be there. Dana Lash, Antonio Okafor, Allie Stuckey, Judge Janine Pyro, Tommy Laren, and Katie Pavlich, Kellyanne Conway. Yeah, it's a long list, but yeah, so it's going to be a great event. And Driena, I appreciate you coming on, and we'll talk again soon.
Alrighty, no problem. Thank you so much again for having me on, and we'll talk soon.